What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I am back with my only review of Belle Collective Birmingham. Birmingham. Shout out to Chef Don Don. Okay, I love when he impersonates Miss Wanda the way she says Birmingham. Okay, so it is the continuation of Kayla and Amber discussing how they have missed one another. Okay, Amber has felt like Kayla has not tried to get to know her. You know, when she first met her, she didn't speak to her. She spoke to everybody else. Kayla explains that, oh, she did not know she didn't speak to her and it wasn't intentional. And she would never not speak to her. So in their confessional, they're telling two different stories. Amber is just counting from that one experience she's had with Kayla not speaking to her and how she's been ignoring her. Kayla says, listen, I never want anyone to be uncomfortable. I never want anyone to act like I didn't want to say hi to them. But Amber, she's automatically coming to that conclusion that she isn't going to figure out how to create a friendship with Kayla. Like, she'll be cool with her, cordial, and not carry like a super, super close friendship. But why would you even want to assume that would be your first thought if she has ignored you like you said she did? Then Kayla even said, if Amber felt like I didn't speak to her, she could have easily have come up to me around the time that I didn't speak to her and said, hey, I'm Amber, how you doing? Completely agree with that. Amber, you allow for that misunderstanding to fester in you, and once that same situation happened again, you added more fuel to it, where you could have easily have just turned around and say, hi Kayla, I don't know if you remember me, I'm Amber. Like, you did not need to drag it out and make it a big deal, because it shouldn't have been a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But Stormy loves both of them. They're two amazing women. They should figure it out. Hell, she thinks that maybe they can become besties, right? But Amber, she could be cordial. She can do lunch. It is what it is, right? So then Stormy gets on the mic and she thanks everybody for coming. Yes, Lala Anthony wasn't able to make it to this event. She wished she could have came. This is her first celebrity collaboration. And she's very appreciative that everyone was coming out, and now she has less than 10 days to prepare for this 48-hour live event that she's happening. They have a photo shoot coming up. She has a creative camp that needs to be handled. It's a lot of work to be done. Like, you know, we are all into all work, no play, but now that we played, we're back to work. Love it. We have Tiffany. Tiffany is walking with her husband. They're checking out an event space for an upcoming game night. Apparently, according to Tiffany, they are very known for their game nights in Birmingham. Okay, so are you saying that game nights are a staple in Birmingham? Or are you saying that people only recognize game nights because you and your husband are hosting it? Like, you and your husband are the only people in Birmingham that host game nights. Okay. Then, typical, she's going on about how marriage is a covenant between two people. You are put on this earth to do God's work, and that's what she is pretty much telling herself, that God put her and her husband together to do the Lord's work, because she wants to create her own marriage community. I'm not against that, but it's kind of like you putting a lot of, like, not pressure, but you're claiming a lot of titles that I don't know if you navigated them honestly, or you have given yourself that title honestly. Like, are you just placing yourself as the head of all of these things? I don't know. You're putting yourself in such high regards, and I can't say that you shouldn't, but it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too hoity-toity. Like, you literally put yourself above all, and I don't really like that. So then she is talking about Stormy's party. It was dope. Stormy's on her stuff. She was very happy to be there. And now they have their own businesses that are thriving and doing very well. They have a new business they're going to launch soon, and she's super excited about it. Now she's discussing the moment where this new product, this new business was created. And she asked him in that moment, why did you decide to marry me? Did you get butterflies? He just said, no, I just made the decision to just choose you. Now they've been married going on 3 years. Now she recognized that love is a choice, and that's why they have been choosing each other, and that's how this choosing business got created. There's a hat line, a shirt line. If my husband told me the reason why he decided to marry me because he chose me, I don't know if that's enough. Like, you didn't feel anything? Like, your mind wasn't racing, your heart didn't skip a beat, like, you didn't feel nauseous in your stomach, like excited, nervous, like you felt absolutely nothing. We know men are not at all times emotional creatures, right? But what was your thought process? Like, how did you feel about making Tiffany your wife? That's a lot to consider. Like, Asking somebody to marry you is a huge commitment, and you didn't feel nothing else about it. You didn't feel no romantical thoughts. Okay. So now she's discussing their youngest son is about to turn 2, and she wants to have another baby. Well, we get to the blended families. Turns out they do have children that they already had when they came into the relationship. He has a son that's 10 years old. She has a daughter that is 12 years old. And their youngest son together is about to turn 2. His name is Knox. He is a beautiful, handsome baby. He looks just like Tiffany, full of chunky cheeks. And she wants to keep this Brady Bunch thing going, right? So, apparently, that's not what he wants. He wants to say, I want to get a vasectomy. Snip, snip. That is not what Tiffany expected for her husband to say. It's not uncommon for a man to say, I don't want any more children, but Tiffany never thought that would have been her husband. That's the reality she's kind of fighting right now. And she said, listen, we have always been on one accord, and I'm going to need for you to be on board and reconsider. He's not going to. He don't want any more children because he feels like we are already doing everything we can for our youngest times 2, and he kind of don't want to add more to that. If this was another conversation between a man and a woman, like if the roles were reversed and it was the husband asking the wife to have more children, she said no, and he wanted her to reconsider, we would be on his ass about, well, that is her body, her choice. If she says no, she says no. So in this case, Tiffany, your husband says no, he says no. And I have another question. What is the co-parenting aspect in y'all blended family? Do y'all have an arrangement of custody with the parents of your other children? Like, how does that work? That's a lot within itself. So to add another child into the mix would be extremely stressful. And what's wrong with having 3 kids? I mean, you guys are pretty much set. Y'all both have your own child together. Why can't that be just enough? God can only give you more than you can handle. And if your husband says, I don't want to have any more children, I don't understand why you want to tell him he needs to change his mind. For what purpose? For what reason? And when you pressure somebody to having a child that they didn't want, it can come to a form of resentment later, and that's not going to be cool. All right, Tiffany. Okay. Moving on from there, we got Fumi. Fumi is having all the ladies come over. She has assorted foods that she's created. It's a part of her culture, so all Nigerian delicacies. And Stormy comes by, she brings Trey. And while also having Nigerian food, she also has an ice bucket full of caviar because she wants them to try new things. Life is too short to just eat biscuit and gravy. Well, I'm not knocking biscuit and gravy, but I would like to try a dollop of caviar. And Fumi gives Stormy credit for putting on a great event and how she met all the ladies. She feels like all the ladies are very nice except for Tiffany. She didn't receive a warm welcoming from her. Amber comes by and Fumi explains what she just told Stormy. And also, Fumi was also expressing that when she was talking to Tiffany's best friend, they had a long conversation. It was very nice. And she felt like Tiffany didn't really want her talking to her best friend. She even said Tiffany made a comment about, don't try to steal my best friend. Wasn't sure if Tiffany was joking or not, and she don't want to misinterpret anything. Amber was perplexed as to how everyone was cool except for Tiffany, because that's not what Amber usually hears when she hears Tiffany's name. She hears the opposite. And once Tiffany came by, Amber goes on about how she knows Tiffany is the type of girl who'll call you around 5 o'clock in the morning screaming and yelling. So the fact that she didn't warm up to Fumi did not receive a warm welcoming for her, it's like kind of odd and weird. But as soon as Tiffany walked into Fumi's kitchen, Stormy's dog Trey started barking and howling and growling. Ooh. Yeah, Tiffany, if Trey don't like you, then it's obvious you are the problem. And y'all got to keep in mind, babies and dogs carry energies. They can sense when somebody isn't cool. They can sense when somebody shouldn't be around that person, and they act on that. So Tiffany said, you know what, I'm going to give you an air hug. Okay, it's cool. It don't look like Tiffany is a fond of dogs as well. Then in her confessional, she made a comment about how Stormy shouldn't have that dog in the kitchen. It's getting the hairs all everywhere. I don't disagree with Tiffany. Do I think that Stormy would be careless to not be mindful of other people's food and all that kind of stuff? I do think she would. But of course, Stormy can also got to be mindful of the fact that not everybody's going to welcome your dog in their home. Now, I get it. Your dog is very small. He's a rescue pup, everything of that nature. But be mindful that not everybody's going to be welcoming for your dog to come around. Then Tiffany looks at Fumi about, are you taking coats? So now Fumi's on coat duty. Stormy follows Fumi and say, listen, I don't know how that happened. My dog don't really bark like that. That was so weird. And she even believes that Trey is an oracle. Anything you feel, I believe. I'm with you on that. Kayla comes by. Now, Amber automatically is being negative with assuming that Kayla's not going to speak to her and that she feels like something is off about Kayla, and that she also made a comment about Kayla's outfit. Don't be petty, Amber. Don't be. If you don't want to move forward with Kayla, don't talk about her. All right? Don't look for a problem like you did with how she didn't say hi to you after you just ended things there. You really need to take heed to what Fumi said about Tiffany. So if Tiffany rubbed Fumi the wrong way, maybe you should be mindful with the way Tiffany's making the other ladies feel and not put all that energy in making Kayla out to be the problem. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, be open-minded all the way around to look at everybody else's perspective and not just yours. All right? So when she is discussing how she wanted to share her culture to everybody, she also wants everyone to take a taste of caviar if you haven't tried it before. And a bump of caviar was presented. Stormy was like, I don't really want this shit. I would rather have pig's feet, chitlins, and neck bones. Well, I'm not doing pig's feet nor chitlins. All right, so I will have definitely done a bump of caviar. Stormy didn't like caviar. It was very obvious, very hilarious. And then we just end up with having a conversation about who swallows and who don't swallow. Have you ever been swallowed? It was funny. So Tiffany says she don't. Stormy says she has. Fumi said, well, I'm making my mission to swallow because she wants this $1 million plus home. Okay, she will do all the things she would have normally done, but she's going to do it times 10 to get this home. So then Fumi ends up addressing Tiffany about an event that Tiffany has coming up, and she didn't receive an invite. So Tiffany rudely explains why she didn't receive an invitation is because her husband's in here. Like her husband isn't at home or her husband isn't in town is the reason why you didn't give her an invitation to your event. That didn't make any sense to me. You could have extended an invite just for a considerable purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, just off of general purposes, you could have just still sent her the invitation whether or not her husband would have come or not. Like, I don't like that. Just because you don't see her husband around means she doesn't deserve an invitation. I don't like that. So Amber is going to host the event, which I find odd. You wouldn't give Fumi the invitation because her husband isn't coming, but you'll give Amber the opportunity to still be a part of the festivities, and she's not married. Like, if you want to be under the umbrella of having a married couple only event, why would you want a single woman to host if it's an all married couple event? I don't know. Weird. Stormy isn't coming because Courtney isn't coming. And then Fumi invited herself to watch the door. Tiffany didn't want all three of them to watch the door. And Fumi still offered the opportunity to still stop by. Like, is it cool if I stop by? Tiffany said, yes, it's cool. I don't know why that wouldn't be an issue, Tiffany. You don't own the event. Like, you're renting the space. So why would you feel away if somebody was to stop by? I feel like Tiffany likes to control things. And she likes to have things set up in a certain way. And if she wants to keep under the guise of this is a married couple only event, you wouldn't allow for a wife to come by just to say hi. You will not, like, acknowledge her if she came by herself without her husband. Like, that does not make any sense to me. And Kayla isn't going, and she's not married. She's recently divorced. Fumi thought that was her husband she saw at Stormy's event. No, that was her boyfriend. That was not the husband. And I feel like Kayla wasn't even going to bother asking if she can come because I don't think that Tiffany would have accepted Kayla bringing her boyfriend because it's under the umbrella of married couples. So I don't know if Tiffany would have been accepting of a boyfriend coming to a married couple event. But Kayla ended up explaining she just got divorced late last year. Fumi said, I'm sorry, congratulations. So then Fumi presented these beautiful outfits that she wanted the ladies to try. She has worked with this Nigerian designer. She's also designed a couple of pieces herself. And all the ladies did a model walk. And you know what's crazy is Fumi pulled out all the stops. Okay, she had a bartender station ready. She had a photographer ready. And out of all the outfits, I loved Fumi's outfit, Stormy's outfit, Amber's outfit, and Sanetta's outfit the most. The most. I love the colors. I love the designs. I loved everything, right? So, congratulations to Fumi for pulling out a very, very nice event for the ladies to come and get to know her. She then brings up her house again, how she would love for them to come by next time, and maybe she'll have a bigger home to do more hosting event, even though the house that she presented this event was fabulous. Like, Fumi, why do you want a bigger house so badly? The house that I'm seeing you in is gorgeous. I mean, have you seen your closet? That closet is everything, okay? So she just says she just wants a little bit more square footage. Okay, I get it. So then Stormy brings up her TikTok live and she invites all the ladies to come. And are they okay with being on camera? Tiffany gonna come out and say, I don't really like attention. Meanwhile, you're on a reality show. You're literally sitting in a scene that is literally watched by multiple cameramen. Okay, you are mic'd up. What do you mean you don't like attention? You know what? I'm beginning to think you don't like attention for other people. You know what I'm saying? You prefer for all the attention. You don't want nobody else to gain attention. And Stormy said, what about all the attention you got when you had the surprise proposal? What was that about? So Tiffany was a part of a viral proposal where she got proposed to and she got married on the exact same day. I heard of that story. I couldn't put a name with a face. And then I saw Ricky Smiley. I said, oh, that one. Now I know who they were talking about. And she is super excited to recall this moment, and how did that turn out? Like, how did you feel when it happened? What did happen? So apparently it was something that her best friend and her husband ended up setting and planning. She had a surprise birthday party planned for him that same day, had his friends come into town and everything. Fumi said, I would not have liked that kind of surprise because I'm so type A. I would not have liked the way he surprised me. But listen, the fact that he knows he would have loved, the fact that he knows it's about you, to want to surprise you in that way is very beautiful. And she loves a man that can lead, loves a man that can make a decision. She said, I'll follow you, Big Daddy. So when it comes to her style and her taste, like, how did he know? All the way down to the dress. So coincidentally, she had a best friend who was just proposed to, and they had just a regular girls' day, just trying on dresses. Didn't think nothing of it. She found a dress, tried it on, put it on layaway, save it for a rainy day. A faraway possibility she'll become a wife and she'll wear that dress. Did not know it was going to be something she could have literally worn within the next 2 weeks. And Fumi was like, you got great faith, and you tried on a dress, and it happened to be the same dress you bought at a regular day at a bridal shop, and it ended up being the same exact dress you wore on your wedding day. I don't know. It seemed like it was a funky coincidence that your best friend got engaged, you tried on a dress, 3 weeks later you get proposed to. Like, was it all a setup, or was it literally a coincidence that all of this happened right when you were just dating this man? So then she said during her honeymoon she got pregnant. Stormy said, oh, I thought that happened like later in the making. That happened so quickly. In her confessional, she has so many questions, but she's not going to ask them. It sounds to me y'all might have rushed the process of getting married as well as having children. I mean, listen, there's no proper time that you want to get engaged. You want to spend your life with one another and all that stuff, right? But I don't know. It seems like a rushed process that you dated this man. He creates this amazing proposal that you also came across to be your wedding day. You ended up getting pregnant. That seems like a lot. It seems like a very rushed process right now. But hey, fine. Y'all were just probably so infatuated with one another. Y'all didn't take the time to learn until later down the line. So Tiffany had to leave because she had to pick up her children. Fumi tells the rest of the ladies that at Stormy's event, everybody was warm except for Tiffany. Tiffany gave her weird energy. And the whole thing about stealing her best friend, all that kind of stuff. So how do I figure it out? How do I fix the issue that I don't want to become an issue? Do I go to her event and just talk about it and leave? Amber said, yeah, I think you should. And maybe the energy can be rectified and fixed. Maybe you might be welcome to stay. Who knows, right? So moving on, we got Stormy. Stormy is headed to her photo shoot with Lala Anthony. I love the location that Stormy chose. And she wants it to be edgy. We see her creative director there, her chief advisor. Lala is there, and Lala looks fabulous. Okay, Lala looks so clean, fresh face, body, everything. Like, oh my God, like Lala don't age. Look gorgeous, beautiful, natural. And she's just praising Lala for giving her this opportunity, and your fragrance, your scent, it's all amazing. But Lala is literally like bowing down to Stormy. Like, it's all you. I'm going off of your energy. You're such a creative person. I was inspired by you. Lala reveals she was the one who slid into Stormy's DM wanting to work with her. Stormy never thought she would have done a Saturday collaboration, especially not somebody of a massive celebrity like Lala Anthony, who knows everything, who knows everybody. Like, it's a super, super dope opportunity that she is super happy for. And I'm very happy for Stormy. She deserves it. She really does. And she chose the right person. Like, Lala Anthony is a super dope person. Do y'all miss Lala Anthony's reality show from back in the day? I used to love her reality show. It was so dope. Her and her cousin and everything. I loved it. So, knowing that the live is literally a week away, she was told by her production team that her sample boxes will be ready 3 days before the live, and it will be of way better quality than the sample box she originally received. Good. Too much money has been spent. And this is pretty much like how the remainder of the week is going to get. It's going to get crazier. You know what I'm saying? She is also doing a creative boot camp, wanting to get everybody to put enough content in to be prepared for the live. And the purpose of her creator content bootcamp is that all of her content creators live in one house where they are promoting hundreds of content in hopes of giving them all revved up for this new live. And watching Stormy work in her photo shoot was amazing. Okay, she took direction. She wanted to have the photos pop by putting glaze on her glaze. And she let us know she was less than like 24 hours of credits away from receiving her BFA in painting and photography. So she knows how to like create a scene. She knows how to create a photo because she has a strong artistic background. And shout out to Stormy. Snap, 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 snaps. I love that. I love that we're seeing literally the making of how a photo shoot is ran and everything goes into it. Love. So we see Kayla. Kayla is doing her business. You know what I'm saying? She is helping a child smile for photos. We see another boy smile for photos. She has been a part of this business for about 7-8 years now. She has helped kids get into commercials. And then we see her boyfriend. He is very happy to see her. He brought flowers. Her boyfriend's name is Jason. He's in marketing, and he also lives in Dallas. They have a long distance relationship. And whenever he's in town, he stays at a hotel. They hang out for the weekend. We are recognizing the huge age gap between them. But Kayla said, it's different this time. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? I've experienced some things. This is pretty much like a choice in the matter, right? Then Kayla doesn't think that she can date somebody her age because now, her being 35 and her leaving a marriage she was in for over 18 years, she doesn't think that no one can understand her. You'd be surprised, Kayla. You'd be surprised that you're not the only person who got married at a young age, stayed in a marriage longer than you needed to, been to some things, seen some things, and want to change things. Like, you're not the first person. And the fact that 18 years was the longest she was married to this man shocked me. I did not think that. I really didn't. This man was your first for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally lived throughout your teens with this man. He took you through your 20s, took you through that, and almost halfway through your 30s. Like, my God, on today. And yes, I just feel like she looks for guys older than her. Could it be daddy issues? I don't know. But Jason is 17 years older than her. All right, but she's 35 now. She's not 17, right? That was also horrible to even imagine. This man that you were married to was already over 30 and you were 17. Ew. Anyway, she is talking to Jason about telling her children the truth about where her and Jason stand. They're in a committed relationship. Even though her divorce has been recently finalized, she hasn't mentioned anything about Jason more than a romantic sense. Like, they're just friends. And her kids don't know the timeline about when her and Jason got together. So her and Jason have been together for about a year. Looking at the time frame, her divorce was finalized 4 months ago. So you was already dating Jason throughout the process of your divorce. Wow. And Jason, he is just recognizing where he comes in. He comes in just trying to add to the system that she already made with her ex-husband. He's trying not to replace anybody. He's not trying to take over nothing. He is just being there to help, right? And how she believes that maybe the older kids might be hard to understand their relationship versus the younger kids. And she just wants to make sure that the timing is right. And also making sure that her kids still have a great relationship with their father, having that respect for him. She's never talked bad about him. She's never going to talk bad about him. And well, what she dealt with in her marriage was a lot. She said that her word got questioned. She kept explaining herself. She kept on getting accused of doing things that she didn't do. And then she praises Jason for being there for her, and she couldn't have made it this far without him. And just looking for the moments of setting her boundaries and looking at how things are working in her favor, learning who she is now. This is something that she is taking charge on. And Jason says, I love that about you. Some women don't make it out. You did, and you had that strength that I have admired about. You know what? I didn't mind this scene at all. Do I think that Kayla should tell her children about Jason? No. I don't think it's the right time. You and Jason have only been together for a year. Your children just discovered that you just got divorced from their father. I feel like you should let time settle. And I also appreciate that Jason isn't rushing to be a part of her family dynamics as of yet. He is waiting patiently, allowing for her to make that choice, giving her the space, and recognizing how she needs to make this time go better. She needs to work through some things slowly and gradually. I kind of like that. I love that he is recognizing where he stands and he's not forcing her to make any rapid changes. Love it, love it, love it. Okay? Sounds to me she is really trying to take this relationship slowly and not trying to throw it in her kid's face quickly. Love it. I ain't got nothing against that. So we're moving on. We got Stormy in her boot camp. This is where she has her content creators live in one home for a few days. And while they have spent time in Birmingham, they have to go out there and make their goal of making more than 1,000 pieces of content. And now this is their midweek critique. The purpose of this critique is to go through the content, cut it down to short content, edit it, and send it out there. So it can build enough traction for everyone to be on that same type of time and same type of interest for the upcoming live. I love that idea. For the way that Stormy has navigated her platform on TikTok, she's done a very, very good job. I applaud her. So when she opens the door to hear everyone else's creative minds and wonders how has things been good, have there been good things or bad things throughout this week? So one of the content creators, I think his name is Delano, he had a little tiff going on with Faith, the other content creator. They were supposed to have at least 500 videos done. So he went to Publix, right? He wanted to interact with one customer to talk about the product, get the buzz going. And then Faith also did the exact same thing and came in on his video on trying to sell the product. And he felt like she could have went the opposite direction, spoke to the other people, and got her setup all done. You wanted to come in on my setup. You wanted to come in and talk to my client that I had already been speaking to. Yeah, the way that he said it, I kind of would have been on his time as well, because if you guys have your own separate goal to put out content, then why are you on my time? Why are you on my turf, basically? And he even shows video footage of the customer receiving feedback from Faith while she is literally in that same video talking about the product that he was already discussing. Yeah, that wasn't cool at all. And Stormy's chief advisor, she was being really messy. She was, taking her fan. Now was like, oh, girl, give me the tea. Give me the tea. I was laughing. It was hilarious, though. But Faith says it got bigger than it needed to once Delano spoke about it in front of Stormy, like he needed to have an audience. He said, no, I don't need to have an audience. But maybe I needed to tell you in front of everybody to make sure you know what you did was wrong, right? And listen, if it was so bad of an issue, he could have spoken to her about it and squashed it, but it still would have gotten brought up anyway. One Stormy wants to know what happened while y'all were here. So then Faith starts to cry, and he didn't want to be around the bush, and he didn't want to be fake. He wanted to be real. He ended up saying he lost respect for her at some point. And listen, I don't think Delano was wrong for expressing how he butted heads with her on trying to create content. I feel like Faith was, but she definitely was embarrassed that she got called out for doing that. But hey, that is the point of us having a critique. People are gonna call you out for what you did wrong. And the fact that she didn't like that she got called out, but this is a part of the platform you've been on. You're not the first person that's gonna be receiving negative feedback. And this is the reason why Stormy wanted to have an open floor discussion about this, you know? And listen, Stormy is a believer that whenever someone gives you a critique, it is not always an attack. It's something that you could have overlooked and realized could have done differently. Like, you have all different types of content creators who do their content completely differently. So if someone didn't like the way you came across them trying to do your content and it wasn't cool, just accept it and move on. And you might find that these critiques can help you get better. And we all want to be on the same accord. We don't want any discord between us, because this team is going to get bigger. We're going to end up leading people under us. And again, like I said, you guys have all created your own platform, and now you're working for under Stormy. Y'all shouldn't have no competition. There shouldn't be no teams against anybody. Nobody is doing more than less. We are all working for the same goal, right? I do appreciate the way that Stormy is showcasing how she talks to her team in order to get her content out, in order to get the buzz going, because it is a lot you have to keep your audience engaged of seeing your products come in. Shout out to Stormy. I love, 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 love that. So now we're moving on. It is now couples game night. And Tiffany is all about being a part of this couples event, and it's about couples choosing each other daily. Tiffany's gonna get on my nerves with this psychotically chipper, pretentious Christian values. Girl, you cannot be this happy all the time. And the way you're trying to present your life being so perfect, be prepared for people to bust that bubble so quickly. Okay? Be prepared. Stormy came in to help Amber host. I love that Stormy wore her Nigerian outfit again, because she said, listen, it's just so gorgeous. I feel so royal. I feel so regal. I have to wear it twice. Then Amber is explaining what is the purpose of being a host. You know, a host makes sure people are coming in, and we're also picking up the trash and everything. She's like, we got to clean up. Who does that? Like, I didn't know a host was supposed to clean up. I mean, if you are hosting an event at your house, it's automatic. You clean up throughout the night. But you got grown people who know where to throw things away, who knows how to pick up things when they make a mess. Like, why do you need someone to clean up after you? And then don't there be like a cleaning fee that you can provide for a service? Like, I don't know about that. That's interesting to me. So when Sonetta, one of the other girls that has been around, she comes in, Tiffany wonders where was her husband. She said that he didn't want to come. He just got off work and he was super, super tired. That made Tiffany feel away. I was like, why do you feel away that her husband isn't here? Aren't you happy she still came by? Excuse me, like, I didn't like that. She had a whole sour face and everything. I was like, ew. Why do you feel so offended if the wife came by herself? Ew. And then here she is again. This event is for married couples only, not married couples who come without their spouse. Girl, not every husband is going to be excited about going to a fucking game night. And if he just came home from work, what do you want her to do? Force him to come? If he don't want to come, he don't want to come. Like, Tiffany, you getting on my nerves with this shit. Like, ew, are you looking down on women who can still show up without their spouse? And like, that's something that's not supposed to do? Like, a woman can still have a good time even if her husband isn't there? Like, I don't understand that. A wife doesn't need to wear that I'm married cape 5 times throughout the fucking day to know that you are a married woman. Like, what the hell? Do you want me to mention I'm a married woman in the sentence? Like, you know, it's already enough. We got women who overuse the word my husband. Like, girl, take it from me. I'm a married woman myself, and I love saying my husband, but I don't look at it as that's all I have of me. I don't look at it as me being a wife as my only identity. Like, what is up with that? Like, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. So Fumi arrives. Tiffany again is upset that Fumi came by herself. What is your problem? I don't like that. So they're doing this weird game where their spouse, the men, have to stand in front of the ladies and they have to hold a bottle in between their legs. The wife has to get on all fours with a straw in her mouth, crawl to find the hole. And the title of the game is Find the Hole. Weird as fuck. Super fucking weird. I'm Stormy. It could have been a fucking orgy. Like, why are y'all playing this sex kind of game on couples night? And you know what, Tiffany, I'm gonna call you out on this. You said you want to show how Christians can have a good time. Christians wouldn't play this kind of game, man. You would have been way better had you not tried to put this under the Christian light. You would just say, we just have fun game night. That's it, that's all. Is it a game night after dark or something? Like, this is And Tiffany, when I tell you, look way too comfortable getting on your fucking knees. I'm sorry, not sorry. Not sorry, not sorry. Okay? And you know what? It seems to me Tiffany has had a whole different kind of life before she became a wife. And I don't know if she's trying to shed this bad girl image and become this good hoity-toity Betty Crocker type of woman. I have no idea. But I see through it, Tiffany. I see through it. And while they did the game, Fumi and Sonata end up winning. You know, they play good sports. Tiffany got mad that they won. So then Fumi takes Tiffany to the side and want to talk about the issue she has. She doesn't want to make it weird, right? She wants her to be cool with her, so Fumi could be cool with her. And Tiffany was like, why would we not be good around one another? Well, let's start off with Stormy's event. I was talking to your best friend and you made it seem as though I was trying to steal her. You made that comment about it. Tiffany defends the fact that she never said it. But Fumi said you said it. Tiffany was like, listen, if I said it, but I don't recall saying it. You know what, Tiffany? It doesn't even matter. But the energy you gave off is how Fumi is taking it. You gave off that energy that you didn't want her to talk to your best friend. And you ended up saying it in your confessional. I don't know if you were joking or not, but it didn't seem like it was a joke to me. And Tiffany ended up saying, listen, when I walk in the room, I own it. I'm very confident. And I don't think I did anything to make you feel. Before she could finish that sentence, Fumi said, well, I'm not intimidated by your confidence at all. So you didn't need to say that. But I never said that you were. But what was the point of implying the fact that you walk in the room and you own it and you're very confident? Like, who said that? Who said that you aren't confident? Who said that you walk in and you own a room? You are saying that. Like, I don't like that. You saying that you can walk into the room and be very confident does not negate the fact that you showcase a different side of energy that made Fumi feel away. So Tiffany said, okay, are we going to talk or are we going to overtalk one another? You know what? Instead of you trying to defend your reasonings, how about you listen to what Fumi got to say? Okay, you rubbed her the wrong way and you're not really holding yourself accountable with the way you come across. Because I feel like, Tiffany, you didn't like that Fumi got attention from your best friend or from the audience. I don't know, but you really did way too much to be annoyed with what Fumi did, which is nothing. And then Tiffany had a really nasty attitude that I'm not gonna like. And then of course, you know, Fumi recognized she interrupted her, and then she let her speak. She said, yes, you did. You don't gotta be a bitch about it. Don't be snooty. Like, don't try to check her and put her in her place because she's trying to resolve the energy you gave off. And that's where it ended off. And I think we're going to get a continuation of this conversation in an upcoming episode. But Tiffany, baby, no ma'am. Just because you want to be under this sanctified and Holy Ghost veil doesn't absolve you from showcasing nasty, bitchy energy. Because that's what you are giving, nasty, bitchy energy. And no amount of praying or scriptures can override that. Because that's what you exude. Okay? Is it a misunderstanding? I'm hoping it could. But I just get nasty vibes off you. Straight up. Okay? But y'all, that's it. Very good episode. I'm loving this show so far. I love that every scene, each of these ladies have a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about. I love that. But that's all I have. Please stay tuned for next view, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.